Okay, so this is gonna be the week's review of April 14th. SPY, quiet, choppy in the past few days. Not much. We're still within Wednesday's range, the Wednesday buy-ups range. So staying in that. Mostly just scalps and the defining levels that worked this week and the shorter, the slower setups didn't really take off. So I'm gonna just go through my trades as usual. And I think I'm gonna just do it like this. Yep. So Amazon was a violation. Actually, saw this very tight range, and I thought that since SPY was also a bit bullish at the time, claiming VWAP, that I'd just get along on it, get out of the range. But I was chasing it. 5 minute was a bit too extended, and so was the 15. I just don't really like to get in on the third, fourth consecutive candle, even though it didn't really make that big of a move. So yeah, this wasn't really a nice trade. Then I hit Microsoft, which was sort of a defining level trade, but it wasn't the best, but it helped me realize something. So I saw this level, which was quite nice. Then we came up here again and made a fake break on the 60 minute, made a shooting star that was really, really nice. 5 minute made sort of a double top-ish pattern, but I don't really like how this hammer basically just engulfed the previous 5 candles. So that was a bit ugly there. I went short after the 5 minute rejection, quite nice, losing VWAP at the time. SPY was also more bearish, so that gave me extra confidence. But my main mistake is playing defining levels off of levels that aren't that good. Like Wednesday high was quite okay, I think, but I think I just need something much more substantial with more confirmation in this scenario. So yeah, 5 minute was a bit off. Level was also off. Well, not the worst, but not something I should be playing with this kind of intraday confirmation. MSTR very long biased on the weekly, holding the 50 MA double bottom and onto it. Daily's more ranging, so I'm just playing the levels if there are any, but also a bit more bullish because of the double bottom and these nice higher lows inside. I quite like this area, not a clear level, but a neat area to play. Made an ABCD off of it and coming back, making the C side of the ABCD with a bit of extension on the 5 minute. Also, the 15 minute was quite nice. I think we had like 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive candle extension into it, some increasing volume once we touched the area with a hammer, and also a little bit of extension. It's not that it was like it had like huge acceleration, but I just like that we hadn't pulled back since 313-ish. So I went long after the hammer, got stopped out, quite okay. After that it was just a simulator trade, didn't really like the confirmation here, but I did like that the previous 2 candles, or 3 even, on the 5 minute got fake broken by a large wick, so that was nice. Anyway, not the best 1 minute confirmation, so only sim. But once we cleared this kind of range on the 1 minute, I went long, stop around here because I wanted to play momentum. I thought that if it came back under VWAP and the moving averages, that it would be invalidated. Got above open price and then made a new high of day, but SPY popped quite a lot around here, around 10, and MSTR didn't really follow suit. So I was like, okay, this is not as strong as I thought it was. After the hot break, I set my stop a bit above, a bit below the moving averages and opening price, which just happened to be my break even. So got out there, no re-entries after that. Nike, okay, so very nice weekly acceleration, increasing volume into tightening price action, so that was quite nice. Daily was a little bit off, it was range-ish. Set a candle in the bottom of a range, which was a hammer, so I was a bit more long biased on it. Very nice ranges, so a large range at the bottom of the of this range, and then a very tight range on top of that. We broke out of that, a nice retest of the middle before that, so stop went at the middle of a range. But once we tested around this area, which was this area, and failed 3-4 times with very clear upper wicks. I decided to cut the trade. Wasn't really worth holding in my opinion. It's been an issue of mine cutting trades too quick, but I think this was a fine cut. SPY was also not really cooperative, but wasn't really mad about that. VFC, yeah, this is something that I overplayed a little bit, getting back into some very neat monthly levels and at the edge or just slightly below some weekly levels. But we also had a very nice acceleration, increasing volume, stopping volume on a very nice doji here. So it was a bit more long bias than the weekly. Daily was definitely off. I don't really like this mini double bottom that we put in here. And we also touched 9, so we weren't far from that. Not really nice. 60 was very much just range-ish. This is my launchpad setup, which is a very tight range in a larger range that gets fake broken and then takes off. But this wasn't really a textbook setup. Daily wasn't the nicest. Also, there was nothing super clear on any of the time frames, which is a new requirement that I have, is I have to have at least one super clear time frame, which neither the 5 nor the 60 or the daily did that, and the weekly wasn't really enough for an intraday move. So yeah, intraday confirmation was quite nice though. Very nice fake break, double hammers. Got in at a 5-minute orb, which confirmed the double bottom and the double hammers. So that was quite nice. Also got a retest here with very nice volume. But unfortunately, we had some shitty news on SPY. You expect CSRF to remain as negotiations make little progress. That made SPY sell off quite a bit, and VFC happened to be in the middle of that sell-off as well. Got dragged too. Apple, this is not really a larger time frame trade. I just like that we gap down sort of into support resistance area-ish. Quite okay. What was nice about it was that relative to SPY, which wasn't really selling out for the other Max 7 stocks, Apple had a much larger acceleration back into the support areas. So large acceleration starting to stop here. I'm not even sure how much this is. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 consecutive candle extension. Set up this nice little 1-minute base here, which got fake broken. There's actually a wick here that you can see, so I went long. Unfortunately, didn't really get a fill. Probably would have taken some off into the 200 levels and then got stopped out on a new 1-minute lower high, because I didn't really have anything other than the 5-minute bias and the fact that it was a bit more overextended than the other maximum stocks. Meta, this is the final level trade. Quite a nice level here, which was initiation support and now confirmed recently. Had 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive candle extensions on a 15-minute and double bottom-ish pattern on the 60, although I don't really like that it kept making lower highs. Anyways, it was quite nice. 5-minute also didn't really have a proper pullback for a while. And then we set a double bottom on the defining level. Should have got my entry here, but it popped right before I wanted to enter, and I got a very big slippage, so I just cut the trade. Probably would have taken some partials off of here. SPY was struggling also at the 200 MA and VWAP, and then probably would have gotten stopped out. Since it didn't really have much momentum or not a very large bias, I probably would not have held this trade for very long. Maybe a bigger partial here and then a stop out below VWAP. Yeah, not really sure, to be honest. I think that's how I could have played it. AMD, this was my last trade yesterday, so this was getting back into support, but not real momentum or extension into it, so not a lot of bias. There was quite a nice level here, which was the sell-off slow, also some initiation support on the 60-minute, recently also confirmed. So that was quite a nice level, below which we didn't really have much support aside from the 60-minute wicks, but wasn't really worried about them because most were just down here. Most of the support was just down here, nothing much in between, which I saw on the 5. Unfortunately, don't have it on the screenshot. Anyway, we set up a super nice intraday structure to break this level. bull sandwich on the 15 minute, some nice lower highs on the 1 and 5 as you can see, or descending triangle, whatever you want to call it. So we broke down, retested it, made a mini reverse ABCD, went short off of that. Stop was around here, and I took some profits into the 87 level, which was also a 3 5-minute consecutive candle extension. And then SPY started catching on some volume on the 10:30 news, and I was like, okay, in this headline market, I don't really want to be in any sort of news, even though it wasn't really a headline. It was just some basic ass news nobody really cared about, but I wasn't really sure about it. So 5-minute was already extended, so I set my stop to previous bar highs, which as soon as we broke this bar is low. Unfortunately, can't really see it because of the trade markers, but I set my stop to this bar's high, which was right around here. So got out right there. Uber, another continuation scalp. Not much on the weekly, not much on the daily, but quite a nice level on the 60-minute chart with a bit of room to play above until this 75.42 level. Firstly, we came and claimed this level, didn't really enter here because 5-minute felt extended, so did the 15-minute. After that we made quite a nice ABCD on the 15 and also on the 5. A bit large candle, but not really worried about it. Would have liked a bit more volume on this push, but it was quite okay. Sell-off was very controlled and slow. I really loved that. Caught up with the 9 small hammer. Unfortunately, I entered prematurely before we could break this hammer's high. And I noticed that we were kind of getting stuffed here at the 75 level, and once it didn't really confirm the break of that and it just kept struggling, I was like, okay, I'm gonna cut it and enter if it breaks 75, but it never really broke 75, so I got off easy on this one. And yeah, I think that was the last trade of the week. Some stuff that I didn't take that are worth mentioning. Apple gapped up into initiation support from March. Quite nice. Also a bit extended, not enough pullback here. And we just set up kind of a range structure in the pre-market. I think it gapped up on tariff exemption news. And yeah, we kind of like broke above the range, dipped back in, and then made like a double fake break, which I really love. Could have entered on the 1-minute orb down, or just simply after the fake break, and could have got a really nice move back down to the bottom of the range. Also maybe could have traded a BB scalp down around here, but I didn't really like that. It wasn't really a big pullback, and I just didn't really want to be chasing it. So yeah, this was a nice setup, I think. Yeah, not much else that's worth noting. Yeah, SPY was also just doing kind of the same shit. Anyways, PLTR, initiation sell-off, resistance kind of around here, which was kind of nice. We gapped up right to that. Unfortunately, I didn't set an alert and didn't see that it was gapping up to that level exactly. Hadn't had a solid pullback since around 93.50, so that's a quite nice around 60-70% ATR move without any proper pullback. A bit of extension, although no acceleration, not getting any parabolic, so not really A+ setup. We touched the initiation sell-off or initiation resistance level exactly, made a couple of upper wicks, shooting stars, and once we broke below this 1-minute range, I could have gotten my entry with a stop in the middle, or maybe a bit of a pre-market high if I wanted to be safer, and could have just got some momentum scalp all the way down till pre-market levels, and probably would have gotten out on this ascending triangle, higher low kind of thing. Target, not really worth mentioning. DJT, just an easy money trade. So popped quite a lot. I'm not even sure why it did. Didn't really find any news. But we have this very clean level, popped above it, ABCD. Kind of an aggressive sell-off, but we did set a double bottom on top of the level. Very nice 5-minute, very nice 1-minute. Could have gotten an entry as soon as we cleared this mini 1-minute range. Stop below the last support. Targeting this high around here, still well within the daily ATR. So that was quite clean. I could have moved my stop up on this higher low once we confirmed it, and then got my all out somewhere around here. I think just a neat base hit. Google, also not an A plus level, had an MA against me, but quite a nice just sell off, ranging, broke down, retested, and then another sell off from that, just using 5-minute candles and trailing 1-minute prior bar highs as a stop. Nothing super crazy, just a base hit here as well, but not worth talking about. Netflix was quite nice. I'm not sure how I missed it. So not really selling off with SPY, or not as much as SPY or the Max 7s, which was quite nice. Daily range got broken in the FT Hours and pre-market, set a very nice ABCD, which was even confirmed in pre-market at with the 8 a.m. candle. So that was a very clean move. Touched 20 MA, set up a very nice trend line in the pre-market, which got broken. Could have entered on a 1-minute orb, or maybe after this ABCD, and let it run on full ATR because it was on quite higher relative volume. We did have this initiation resistance. So we did have this initiation resistance where I could have taken a partial because it was quite substantial in my opinion. But yeah, given how strong it was relative to the market, oh fuck, I can't really see the open here, but yeah, nothing really going on in the market. I think it was even selling off a bit near the open. Given how strong it was relative to that, I could have just left it on, especially with the volume it had. Apple, I think I already talked about this. Pins not worth mentioning. PLTR, just a defining global trade right back at initiation resistance. 2 days after the gap up scenario into it that I discussed. So kind of a head and shoulders slash lower high slash whatever you want to call it, and a fractal pattern with the same exact thing. So like a lower high on the 5-minute. Not the best confirmation on the 1-minute, a bit too wiki for my liking. No clear entry here with a really good risk to reward, but yeah, maybe could have been worth a try. Walmart was quite nice that I didn't notice. I don't know how. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive candle extension into a level which was also kind of the sort of sell-off from here, and set a very nice shooting star. Had quite a lot of room, $4, which is a full ATR back to 90 MA, and not much support resistance in between that. So could have gotten a very nice short of this. After the shooting star, we set up a reverse ABCD on the 60-minute chart, which got fake broken twice. So that was quite nice after the shooting star, or maybe even more confirmation after the 2nd minute, which engulfed the first minute's body. Lost VWAP, lost BDC, lost yesterday's low, and it was just, I think, a clear signal, stop at high of day, and could have let it run back to 90 MA, which would have been a super nice trade. AEM, not really worth mentioning. ASTS, nor is this. BA, not a nice setup either. Nor CVNA. It was just an anti-playbook trade. Didn't really have much volume on the push. Not super clean levels. MU, yeah, I think maybe some sentences about this. Quite a neat little range. Not the most exact, quite a lot of wick outs and stuff. We had 3 consecutive candle extension into it, counting this candle, so a bit dicey, but quite okay. 5-minute, very nice extension. 15-minute, also very nice extension. Also had the fake break, only by a fraction of a cent, but we did have it, so that was nice. Set an engulfing, and then a 3-bar play-ish thing, but I didn't really like the 1-minute confirmation. I don't really like these like inward curving patterns. I much more like the outward curving cleaner ones on these range plays, so only entered in simulator. After we touched the 5 and made a new 1-minute higher low, I set my stop below that and got out there. Yeah, I didn't really want to rush back into range plays, but I'm gonna try implementing them again and using some scanners for them. NEM also just along with I think AEM, was it? Oh no, we didn't really have that. Anyway, it was a gold play. Gold was quite extended, but the 60-minute was quite sideways. Could have maybe traded off of this level, but nothing super substantial here, so just made note of it. XOM. Okay, so very clean level, not much resistance above that until 106.51, which could have been my target. Made a 3-bar play on the 5-minute, which was super nice. Couldn't really sell off below my level, even though the pullback wasn't quite enough, just around 25%. I would have liked a bit more, but the fact that we couldn't sell off below my level was really, really nice. Caught up with the 9, made a hammer, dipped a bit below this 1 minute, past the 1 minute bar ranges. Maybe I'm over explaining it, but I think it's a solid indication that on the very short term we were bullish. So broke below those, reclaimed instantly, and once we broke I could have gotten an entry, would have stopped below this hammer, and then ride it all the way up to 106.51. Just a clean trade. Not realize that we're getting back into the daily range, but I think we're already past the resistance of that, especially on the very short term like this. And yeah, I think we went full circle.